And now it's getting that expertise somewhat in the use case of the data is getting more and more commoditized. So it makes it easier for a vendor to see what are the potential use cases for the data by also using some of the same data sources that maybe the buy side might be using. Like, there's nothing stopping a data vendor going into a service like FactSet or Visible Alpha. Visible Alpha specifically, you go in and you can look at what are the important KPIs for each ticker. You put in a ticker, it'll say like, these are the 5 most important KPIs that you need to know if you're a fundamental analyst. And they could then say like, oh, well, what are the historical actuals for these KPIs? And can I forecast what those KPIs would have been based off of my signal? And if you do, you might have something there, especially if it can outperform consensus. Now, consensus is never going to be perfect, and we all know their biases, but at least they're there. That's a benchmark that you can use. And there's nothing stopping a lot of these vendors now from just doing systematic backtests of the important KPIs that exist for companies and managing that expectation themselves. And they go into a sell-side conversation with a buy-side firm saying, oh, we can forecast same-store sales, or we can forecast subs, or we can forecast these bespoke KPIs for all these companies with a certain R-squared. And they're obviously going to then want to ingest that themselves, validate it, but you can really quickly get to the value prop right now if you're one of these sell-side vendors.
Yeah, and I think in the early days, a lot of folks are trying to jump right from the data set to predicting the stock price. And there's a lot of issues and other factors that are in the middle of that that prevented the data sets from being very easily usable for that particular case. And the consensus metric at the time might have been, earnings per share, and you've got consensus, and obviously various analysts are putting out their specific estimates. But by going now to the KPI, you can get a lot more granular. I need these kinds of data sets to predict this KPI. I need a different set of data sets to predict the cost, for example, instead of sales, and on the revenue side of things. And if you can sort of stitch that together with a portfolio of data sets, some of those, probably many of those might be alternative data sets, then I think the sophistication of your model and your investment process is much more robust.
Engineer.